My name is Ray.
Hi, this is Michael.
Welcome to another episode of Ray's Economics Clue Book. Today we're talking about consumer choice and substitution income and effects.
Alright.
So basically, we always talk about the demand or supply of the overall aggregate economy, or maybe of a single good. But how are the demands of the AD model of two goods related? So basically, we first talk about the substitution effect. Basically, we look at two substitute goods: chicken and beef. Now, chicken and beef are called substitutes because they are almost competing against each other. When people buy more beef, they usually buy more chicken, less chicken. So at an aggregate level, increased beef sales means decreased chicken sales usually, and vice versa. Now, if increased beef sales meant increased chicken sales, they both increase at the same time, then that would be complementary goods. But these are not complementary goods. These are substitute goods. I mean, usually you're either eating beef or chicken for dinner as a meat course. And so basically, let's talk about beef. Let's say the price of beef goes down. So obviously the quantity demanded beef increases because consumers can afford more of it, and consumers want to afford more of it now. So if the quantity of beef demanded increases, then the quantity of chicken demanded decreases. But this is not just sliding along the demand curve for chicken. The entire demand curve for chicken shifts to the left. Now remember, we talk about demand curve shift due to external factors. And in this case, the price of beef is an external factor for the demand of chicken. So that the price of beef fluctuates, demand for chicken shifts left or right.
Yeah, basically it means the demand increased when beef price decreased. So beef substitute chickens in this scenario, because nothing happened to chicken. Beef price reduced, chicken the demand curve shifted to the left. So chicken being substitute.
So basically, in summary, the beef we see here, the beef is the price that changes. So the beef sees a shift along the demand curve because it's just the price of the beef that's changing. But the price of beef is an external factor for the price of chicken. So the whole demand curve for chicken shifts. So now we have different goods. Different goods, basically, we have normal goods and inferior goods. A normal good, most goods are normal goods. Normal goods basically means when income increases, we cannot afford more of this normal good, so demand for the good increases. So basically, these are usually they're normal goods. They're normal. Basically, they're also called superior goods or luxury goods. They are a type of normal good. Basically, superior goods are maybe per se very upper class goods. Luxury goods such as diamonds or
diamond rings and
sports cars
and luxury cars, for example. Basically, that's we're going to talk about elasticity later on. But that which really means when you have a 1% income increase, you have more than 1% demand quantity increase for superior goods. Okay, so
and the other end of the spectrum is inferior goods. They're the opposite of normal goods. Inferior goods, basically, their demand increases when income goes down. So normal goods, income goes up, demand increases. Inferior goods, income goes down and demand increases. Hence the name inferior, perhaps, because they're maybe per se lower class goods or goods that you basically have no choice but to buy when your income level is lower because you cannot afford the normal luxuries you're used to having. And so, for instance, bus tickets instead of cars, store brand, generic brand instead of name brand,
fast food.
So basically, when your income level is lower, you cannot buy a car. You can't afford a personal car anymore, so you have to buy bus tickets. So your income, so overall on the aggregate level, if income decreases, bus ticket demand increases, and same concept for generic brands. Now this creates an interesting phenomenon: giffen goods. So basically, giffen goods state are type of inferior good, where price increases and demand increases. Now this is counterintuitive because we see that previous demand curves is the negative slope, so price decreases, then quantity demanded increases. But in this case, if price increases, demand increases for giffen goods. Why is this the case? Well, theoretically, if price for inferior good, for this special type of inferior good increases, then your relative income level decreases because technically overall price level is increasing. So the value of your income is decreasing. And so, but since this is a giffen good is a type of inferior good, that means that if your relative income decreases due to the giffen good price increasing, then your income decreasing results in the demand increasing. So in this case, the giffen good sees a demand increase with a price increase.
It usually does not really happen in the real world very often. It only happens in some special time periods, in some special regions. For example, the famous Irish potato famine, right? So when the potato is kind of like staple food. No substitutes in Ireland, just like rice in Asia. There is no substitute because people just, no matter what, people are going to buy that. So when in the famine period time, when the price has very moderate increase, people will rush for buy more. Why? Because they're going to pay just store in the basement, right? So they're afraid that if their price goes skyrocket, they cannot afford that anymore. Then they're gonna basically have no food to eat. So in that special time and in that special location regions, and for that special item, special goods like potato, okay, and it's considered as a given good.
Yes. So basically, there's only a very tight window where a given good can possibly exist, and in that case, only temporarily.
Yeah.
Because let's say, as Michael mentioned, if your price does skyrockets for potatoes, then at that point nobody can afford it anyway.
Sure.
If your income level is that low during a famine.
Yes.
And so the potato ceases to become a given good because nobody can afford it anymore. So its demand is not going to increase.
Yeah.
So basically, as Michael basically implied, a given good has a very tight window in time and situation, and maybe even price level. That it can be an actual real given good. And given goods, just like inferior goods, are rare. Except given goods are even rarer. In fact, they're incredibly rare because they can only exist in tight window. And maybe in more upper class or wealthier nations like the United States, they might not even exist at all.
Yeah, because after the World War II, the whole world has seen significant economic development. The given goods did not really happen very often anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, with that being said, we talk about the types of goods, the income effect.
Yeah.
So basically, we talk about superior goods, luxury goods, and normal goods. Basically,
and the inferior goods. Yeah.
They are the opposite, or they are the opposite spectrum of inferior goods.
Okay.
So, both of their demand can increase, but with superior goods, it only increases with an increase in demand income. With inferior goods, it increases with a decrease in income. So, just the flip side.
So it's pretty, hopefully this, graph gives you more direct, the understanding about what's the normal or inferior, superior goods, what's the inferior goods, because when the income increased, your demand for superior goods increased.
Yeah.
Okay? And for superior increase even more, right, percentage-wise. But for inferior goods, when your income increase, the demand decrease, right, like bus ticket, okay, as we already mentioned. Okay.
And so finally, for our final clues, substitution effect measures the cross impact of two different goods or multiple goods with price changes. So it compares different AD models, multiple AD models. Normal goods, on the other hand, basically this we lead to a discussion of normal and inferior goods. Normal goods with E larger than 0, as Michael explained, elasticity, income elasticity, which includes superior or upper class or maybe luxury goods. And inferior goods, where E is less than 0, includes given goods, which is a very special type of inferior good, which is already a very rare type of good. And so it basically looks at quantity demanded versus income.
Yeah, that's what we call the income effect. Right? But finally, I want to just remind that E means elasticity. That we're going to discuss that in more details in the future, presentations. So you don't really have to worry about that right now. But hopefully, this just summarizes the whole thing about the substitution effect and the income effect. Okay, we'll talk about more microeconomic topics later on. See you guys. Bye bye.